Fulham 1, Liverpool 3. Liverpool back to winning ways in the Premier League. They join Arsenal on the same amount of points and obviously put pressure on Manchester City, who of course didn't play in the Premier League this week. Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Welcome to another video. It's the instant match reaction to Liverpool's 3-1 victory over Fulham today. I know a lot of people had their eyes elsewhere, particularly on a certain incredible FA Cup semi-final game. But for me in particular, I was of course focused on my team at Liverpool that went and got 3 points today. And that is the least we asked for. That is at the very least that we asked for today. After what has been a tricky couple of weeks for the Reds, we needed a result today. And we were coming up against a potential banana skin in Fulham at home at Craven Cottage. And Liverpool managed to pass this test with pretty much flying colours, with a couple of exceptions here and there. We're obviously going to be talking about the game. We're going to be talking about where it leaves Liverpool and everything else in between. But without further ado, I would like to remind you all to please like the video and also subscribe if you're new. Both things are always and very greatly appreciated. And of course, get involved in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts, your comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it in regards to Liverpool, the title race that be, and everything else in between. I would love to hear from you all. Show a lot from great and interesting reading. But like I say, without further ado, let's get on with the video. Let's talk Liverpool. Let's talk this game against Fulham. Not the most exciting game. I know it obviously finished 3-1 to Liverpool, which may suggest there was an element of excitement in there. But to be fair, the atmosphere wasn't exactly electric from Fulham. The football wasn't exactly full of quality, but it was just the moments that Liverpool took that really sparked it. And the first half was not very good at all. The first half was Liverpool in control, as you would expect, having the lion's share of possession, but not really doing much with it. And then the one moment of quality to actually arrive in the entirety of the 45/49 minutes, or however long at a time there was of course the free kick from a certain Trent Alexander-Arnold. We have certainly missed just everything that he possesses and everything that he brings as Liverpool side, whether it be his passing, his shooting, or his set pieces. We've certainly missed it. And this was another example. This was another example. This was an absolute quality free kick. Another beautifully placed free kick. Slight strange setup to the wall when you consider how Fulham set it up with some of the big players on the outside of it. And, you know, you're kind of going up against one of the most notorious free kick takers in the Premier League at the moment, other than maybe a James Ward-Prowse. You kind of should expect to know what you're coming up against. And, you know, to Liverpool, obviously it worked out to their credit and in their way, because obviously Trent Alexander-Arnold was able to put enough pace on it, enough accuracy on it, to precisely place the ball into the top corner in what was a fantastic way to open the scoring, and just a fantastic way of getting the ball up and running for Liverpool. Then, when all seemed to be a little bit more under control, that's where Liverpool at their most dangerous of conceding. And that's exactly what proven again. Liverpool was seemingly in control. Fulham had a couple of nearly moments here and there. But Liverpool seemed to be in control for the most part. And then a switch off, a lapse of concentration defensively, and we concede a stupid goal. Timothy Castagne finding the back of the net after what was a bit of pinball. What was a bit of a block from a Muniz shot. The ball kindly fell into his path and he fired into the back of the net. Again, no real quality necessarily attached to the overall play, but just a lapse of concentration from Liverpool, to say the least. And then we're thinking, oh great, we have to go again. It's going to be another one of those awkward games in which we have to dig deep and probably grind out another result. Ryan Gravenberch steps up in the second half. He fires Liverpool back into the lead. Now, I was moments away from calling this guy completely out. And I'm not one of these people that is going to dig out someone's performance purely based on a goal to masquerade what was a pretty poor display from Gravenberch overall. But I will say that he took his goal very, very well. And I will say that once that goal was under his belt, you could see the confidence regain within him. And he started to play better after that. He wasn't perfect, but he was definitely better from that point of view onwards. But it was a very well taken goal, a very good finish to curl the ball beyond the goalkeeper and into the back of the net. Very well taken from the midfielder, and I'm hoping that does do him the world of good. I'm still not completely sold on Gravenberch. I know that he had a decent start to his Liverpool career. It's since fell off a little bit over time, and I know that injuries haven't helped. But I've not been completely sold on him as of yet, but I'm hoping that goal will certainly push him forward to maybe reach that next level. His first Premier League goal since arriving and joining Liverpool. So I'm hoping that will be the beginning of hopefully some good performances and maybe a few more goal contributions in there as well, particularly from now until the end of the season. Fingers crossed that's going to be it for him. And then to round things off, Diogo Jota beat the offside trap and managed to get on the score sheet. Back amongst the goals from his injury, Diogo Jota. God, have we missed him. Have we missed his clinical nature. The difference of him and like a Darwin Núñez, who again, don't get me wrong, I like Darwin Núñez. I like everything that he represents, but you can see the difference in finishing from Diogo Jota's strike on goal, which managed to go through into the net, in comparison to Darwin Núñez, who in his first opportunity when coming on smashed it into the side netting, rather than go across the face of goal, across the goalkeeper, into the far corner. But that's just the difference that we have right now, and obviously we're just hoping that Jota can stay fit from now until the end of the season. We're going to need him. We scored. We waited for one goal from open play for the past 3 or 4 games or whatever it was, and we got 2 in the space of a mere minutes, basically. So I'm glad with that. I'm glad that we've managed to get a few goals under our belt as well. I'm glad that we managed to get the win. The performance wasn't completely there, but at this point, I'm going to take the win because, we've had a few games now where the results haven't been there. The performances definitely haven't been there. It's nice to just get that winning feeling back. Like I say, we go top of the table, joint with Arsenal. City, of course, have the game in hand, but I think points on the board mean more than games in hand because it puts pressure on that team. And although City have been there time and time again down the years, we know that obviously it's never quite as straightforward as you would imagine. Nothing's ever a foregone conclusion, definitely not in the Premier League. So we'll see, obviously, how City take that game in hand and how well they do with that. For Liverpool, for Arsenal, it's been a big weekend for both of them. They've done exactly what they were expected to do and done exactly what was needed of them to do. Arsenal's result yesterday was obviously big for them in what could have been added on top of what has already been a disastrous week in terms of exiting the Champions League. They bounced back well. They held their own, and of course they got back to winning ways because last time when they were out in the Premier League they lost to Aston Villa, of course. Liverpool were the same. They lost to Crystal Palace last time out. They were officially knocked out of the Europa League, and then they come to Fulham, which could have been a very tricky banana skin for them, especially, like I say, away at Craven Cottage. It could have been very difficult, but they managed to get the job done, and that's exactly what they needed, especially when you're heading into what could be again another tricky game away from home at Goodison Park in the Merseyside derby. We know that obviously Everton won earlier today against Nottingham Forest. That will certainly ease their relegation fears. So they're pretty much going into the game with nothing really to lose and, nothing much really to gain either. Although the points tally is still hanging over their heads and everything, and although they're still not mathematically safe, that win today against a fellow relegation candidate will obviously be massive for them. So they can pretty much go into that game pretty much free to do whatever they want, and of course their want and what the fans want, of course, is going to be to put the final nail in the coffin of Liverpool's season. And that was going to obviously be to try and win that game. If they can win the game or even draw the game potentially, it could really derail Liverpool's season completely. Put the final nail in their title charge. And of course, Everton fans would absolutely love to be the ones that have gone on to do that. It's not going to be easy by any stretch of the imagination. I wouldn't imagine it's going to be easy. I imagine the fans are going to be really up for this one, and I pretty much imagine the players are going to feed off of that energy and obviously want to give their fans the performance. Merseyside derby, a fierce rivalry. We know the kind of scoreline there. So, yeah, Liverpool should go into that game winning, but whether they do or not obviously remains to be seen. As far as what today goes, look, it wasn't great. It wasn't perfect by any stretch of the imagination. I was kind of worrying that it might be a bit of the Atalanta performance on Thursday, where we're sat there waiting for more goals to happen and then they don't. But there we have it. We got the win. It was a much needed win. We got the goals too. That was needed. We got a few goals. We got a couple more goals in there as well, as in terms of goal difference. We cut that down a tiny bit. Wasn't always going to be easy, but no, we did well. I thought in the first half, I thought the left hand side was a bit anonymous, bit meh. Just not really there. But I thought the more that we grew into the game, I thought the more the players and certain individuals grew into the game more. Like I say, Gravenberch from the goal started to look sharper. We started to get Andy Robertson on the ball a bit more in the second half. Cody Gakpo, again, I thought had another solid display. He has really improved his performances. Been the only one really to improve their performances over time. I would say during this very difficult period of the season for the Reds. So that's been interesting to watch as well. Diaz didn't have his best game, but was still giving plenty of energy up front. But you could sense the front line was just not really connecting. And of course, that was the big question going into the game, was obviously the team news. The question of whether Salah and Núñez not starting up front will have a big impact on the way that Liverpool approach the game, how well we play. And there was a disconnect. Not going to lie, there was a bit of a disconnect between the front three, and obviously maybe it's just simply because they've not really played much together in obviously the times that like Salah and Núñez have. But you could tell as the game wore on, they were starting to get to grips with each other a bit more. And like I say, Gakpo playing the ball through for Jota to finish and obviously have his get his goal. Very much needed for Jota, and of course very much needed for Gakpo as well. Another goal contribution to his name. And of course, going forward, that's going to provide wonders hopefully for our season if we are to try and push City down to the wire, because even though obviously Arsenal are ahead of us on goal difference, City are obviously the ones to kind of catch as of right now. I know that, like I said earlier, points on the board mean more than games in hand, but we have to expect that City are going to pretty much win every game from here on out. So we just got to be there just to capitalise just in case they don't. So that's basically all we've got to do on that one. We got the win. We got what was needed and expected of us. We roll on to the Merseyside derby. Huge game midweek. And I'm hoping for a better performance as well. I'm hoping we actually put them really to the sword in that one. Get a few goals. It's a massive opportunity for Liverpool to not only get 3 points, but to also, like I say, cut that goal difference down some more if possible. I know that obviously Arsenal have got a big game themselves. I think City are also back in action at some point this week. So it's going to be massive. It's going to be massive for all of these teams going forward. But Liverpool get the job done. 3-1 against Fulham. Massive, massive 3 points for Jurgen Klopp's side. And, you know, not necessarily the best of performances, but who cares? We got the 3 points, and really, after the past couple of weeks that we've had, all you can expect, really. All you really can expect. So, big win for Liverpool. We go level on points with Arsenal, joint top of the table, with Manchester City now falling to third, but with a game in hand that could easily overtake the two teams that currently sit above them. That's all we have it from this guy. Those are your thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings of this guy. I want to know what you guys think. What do you make of Liverpool versus Fulham? What do you make of the 3-1 victory that Liverpool performed today? What do you make of the Premier League title race and everything else in between? Let me know your thoughts, your comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it in regards to this story and obviously this game. Down below in the comment section, I'm sure it'll make it interesting and great reading. Otherwise, hit the like button on the way out if you enjoy the video. Subscribe if you're new, want to see more content like this. Both things are always very greatly appreciated. And as always, thank you all so much for watching and listening. I've been Fletch. This has been another Fletch Talks video / instant match reaction to Liverpool's 3-1 victory over Fulham. Stay tuned because later on I'll be putting out my reaction to the incredible FA Cup semi-final between Manchester United and Coventry. Ended up being 4-2 win to Manchester United on penalties. What an incredible game that was, and I have to admit, when it got to like 3-1 Liverpool, I thought the game was pretty much done. So I kind of shifted my focus a little bit to that game. So yeah, like I still was watching it, but my focus was a little bit shifted, I must admit, because Coventry were very unfortunate not to have won that game. But there you have it. So stay tuned for that one. Liverpool 3, Fulham 1. That's the bottom line here, though. Fantastic win for Liverpool. Joint level on points of Arsenal, going to the top of the table. Big day for Jurgen Klopp. See you all again soon, guys. Thank you all for watching and listening. See you soon.